The authority of the apron. Have you ever noticed how much effort we put into being seen? We live in an era of pedestals. We polish our digital profiles, we chase titles, and we've been subtly trained to believe that the higher we climb, the more successful we are. In the ancient world, being a king was the ultimate climb. It meant being closer to the gods than to men. It meant gold, flattery, and a life where everyone else existed simply to orbit around your needs. But there is a peculiar tension in history. The names of the kings who demanded to be served often fade into the dust of their own monuments. Yet there is one name that remains a sun king in the intimacy of our souls. Not because he built a palace, but because he dismantled the very idea of what it means to be great. Ask yourself, if you were stripped of your titles, your job, and your social standing today, what would be left? Would people remember you for the orders you gave or for the way you made them feel? The modern parable, Julian and the Mud. Think of a man named Julian. He's the director of a major architectural firm in London. He's respected, wealthy, and, by all accounts, at the top of his game. One rainy Tuesday, a massive leak threatens to destroy the archives of a historic building his team is restoring. The site is a mess of frustration. The foremen are shouting, and the younger staff are panicking, worried about the heritage they might lose. Julian arrives. He doesn't stay in his car. He doesn't point fingers or demand a meeting. Instead, he takes off his expensive wool coat, rolls up his sleeves, and starts moving heavy, waterlogged crates alongside the youngest intern. He doesn't say much. He just works. By the time the sun sets, the archives are safe. But the atmosphere on that site has shifted. The team doesn't just respect his signature on a contract anymore. They respect him. He showed them that his authority wasn't a weapon to command them, but a tool to protect them. How would you react in Julian's shoes? Would you be the one directing the rescue from the dry pavement? Or would you be the first one to step into the rain? It's easy to spot service when there's mud on someone's boots or sweat on their brow. We can see the effort and we admire the grit. But there's another kind of basin and towel moment. One that doesn't happen on a construction site, but in the quiet, often overlooked corners of our daily interactions. Because, truth be told, service isn't always about physical labor. Sometimes the heaviest things we carry are invisible. Meet Eleanor. She's a highly successful barrister, someone used to winning arguments in the most prestigious courts in the UK. Her life is a whirlwind of deadlines and high-stakes decisions. One evening, after an exhausting trial, Eleanor notices a junior clerk sitting alone in the office kitchen, looking utterly defeated. Most people in Eleanor's position would have offered a quick good night and hurried home. But Eleanor stops. She puts down her briefcase, makes 2 cups of tea, and simply sits. She doesn't offer legal advice or career tips. She just listens to the clerk's fears about failing. For 40 minutes, the queen of the court becomes a servant of someone else's peace. She traded her time, her most precious commodity, for someone else's comfort. When was the last time you laid aside your busyness to truly see someone? Are we so focused on our own crowns that we forget to notice those who are struggling to carry theirs? You see, Eleanor and Julian aren't isolated cases. They are part of a long golden thread that runs through human history. A thread woven by those who understood that life's true value is found in what we pour out, not what we hoard. We often think of the greats, names like Mother Teresa, who became a beacon of light in the slums of Calcutta, or Gandhi, who changed the world without ever firing a shot. We remember them because they turned service into a masterpiece. But for every Mother Teresa whose name is etched in history, There are a million invisible giants walking among us right now. Think of the person who spends their weekends at a local animal shelter, kneeling in the straw to comfort a dog that has forgotten what a kind touch feels like. They don't have a camera crew. They don't have a million followers. They just have a heart that beats for those who cannot speak for themselves. Why do they do it? Because they've discovered a secret. When you serve a creature in need, you aren't just saving a life. You are saving your own soul from the coldness of indifference. Ask yourself, have you ever noticed the quiet person in your street who picks up litter, or the neighbor who checks on the elderly without being asked? They are the true architects of peace. They prove that you don't need a massive bank account or a famous surname to be a force for good. You just need to be present. Service is the only currency that doesn't devalue when the world gets loud and cynical. It's the extra mile that turns a stranger into a brother. It's the decision to be a fountain instead of a drain. And as we look at these modern examples of courage, we begin to see a pattern, a blueprint for living that was laid down long ago by a king who redefined everything. The Knight of the Basin. This is the disruptive heart of Jesus. On his final night, his friends were arguing about which of them would be the greatest. They were still thinking about thrones. And then, the king did something that silenced the room. In that culture, washing feet was the job for people who didn't matter. But Jesus stood up. He laid aside his status and wrapped a towel around his waist. One by one, he knelt. He touched the grime and the weariness of their journey. He wasn't just cleaning their feet, he was recalibrating their hearts. He proved that the only authority worth having is the authority of the apron. He won the world not with an army, but with a kindness that sets people free. His laws weren't carved in stone to be feared. They were whispered into our feelings. It's the language of the extra mile. Serving isn't about being a doormat. It's about having a heart so big that it has room for everyone's burdens. We often say that time is our most precious commodity, and in our modern world, it feels like a disappearing one. We are living in an age of constant motion. We wake up to a barrage of notifications, we rush through our commutes, and we juggle 1,000 tiny tasks that demand our immediate attention. We are busy, but are we effective? Are we actually building anything that lasts? Stop for a second and think about your typical evening. Have you ever reached the end of a long, exhausting day, looked back at the last 14 hours, and felt a strange, hollow sensation? That nagging feeling that despite all the emails sent and errands run, you haven't actually done anything important? It's a modern paradox. We occupy our minutes with things that add nothing to our souls, and then we wonder why we feel so depleted. We tell ourselves, I'll help when I have more time, or I'll volunteer when life settles down. But life doesn't settle down. It only speeds up. What if the cure for your exhaustion isn't more rest, but a different kind of effort? Science is beginning to catch up with what the heart has always known. There is a fascinating phenomenon that researchers call the helper's high. When we step outside of our own petty squabbles to serve someone else, our brains undergo a remarkable shift. Studies in neurobiology show that acts of charity trigger the release of oxytocin and dopamine, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. It actually lowers our cortisol levels, reducing the very stress that makes us feel so rushed in the first place. In a very literal sense, serving others is a biological necessity for our own emotional health. It's the ultimate win-win. When you offer a listening ear to a friend or help a neighbor with their groceries, you aren't just giving. You are receiving a sense of belonging and purpose that no promotion or paycheck can provide. So, I have to ask, Are you spending your life, or are you investing it? Are you waiting for a perfect moment to be kind? Or are you realizing that the moment is already here, hidden under the noise of your to-do list? The beauty of service is that it doesn't require a grand stage. It requires a decision to see the person right in front of you. It's about moving from the me-centric world of the screen to the we-centric world of the soul. And as we look at this blueprint of kindness, we find its most profound expression in the life of a king who didn't just talk about love. He demonstrated it in the most disruptive way possible. As you go about your day, remember Julian in the mud and Eleanor with her tea. Remember the king with the towel. True victory isn't about who is under your feet, but who you have lifted up with your hands. The most indestructible treasure we leave behind isn't what we've gathered, but what we've given away. Speaking about Jesus, it's a profound thought, isn't it? That the most powerful man to ever live chose the most humble path to reach us. He didn't leave us a manual on how to build monuments. He left us a basin and a towel. He showed us that while the world is busy fighting for the top of the mountain, the most beautiful things are actually happening in the valley, where we serve one another. As you prepare to return to your busy life, take a moment to look at your hands. They are capable of so much more than just typing emails or scrolling through feeds. They are tools of grace. They are the means through which peace becomes a reality in someone else's day. Maybe today, you won't save a historic archive like Julian, or sit for an hour in a quiet kitchen like Eleanor, but perhaps you will choose a kind word over a sharp one. Perhaps you will offer a genuine smile to someone who looks like they've forgotten how to. These are not small things. In the economy of the soul, there is no such thing as a small act of kindness. Every time you serve, you send a ripple of peace into a world that is desperately thirsty for it. You are not just a passenger in this life. You are a contributor. You are a sun king or a sun queen in your own right, every time you choose to shine your light on someone else's path. Remember, the mirror doesn't just show you who you are, it shows you who you can become. So here is my question for you today. Whose feet can you wash? It might not be literal water and a basin. It might be a phone call, a patient reply to a difficult email, or simply choosing to be kind when you have every right to be right. Be the peace, be the servant, be the light that this world so desperately needs. If this message touched your heart, perhaps it's a sign that you're ready to start your own journey of service. We'd love to have you as part of our community here at Moments of Peace. Please do subscribe and join us as we explore these paths of light together. Remember, change starts in the mirror, but it blossoms in the lives of those we touch. Thank you for being here. Until next time, stay peaceful.